What's up, inhabitants of Penguin Village? This is your resident Dr. Sinbei Norimaki, otherwise known as Dr. Slump, and today I'm here to bring you an episode review of Dragon Ball Z Kai. This time it's going to be episode 118. Now, this week's episode is very simple, and it won't be that long a review, just to let you know. So, let's just jump in. Basically, we continue from where we left off in last week's episode, where Supreme Kai is facing Majin Buu, and Supreme Kai he just gets rocked. Let's say that. He gets rocked. And he tries to fend Buu off. God help his soul. He tries to fend Buu off, but it's to no avail. Buu just destroys him, and Supreme Kai even tries to use his telekinetic abilities to push Buu back. But Buu is like, oh, let me try. And he does the same thing, which reveals something very scary about Majin Buu. He can instantaneously copy a person's abilities. And it seems that he's able to use them even better than that other person is. So that's a very dangerous ability because he could copy Goku's instant transmission, his Kamehameha, and use an instant Kamehameha, and it'd be even more powerful than Goku's. That's crazy. So we see that Supreme Kai is being beaten, and Gohan tries to come and help him, but it's to no avail. Gohan is no match for him. And I don't understand why people thought that Buu would be a joke in the first place, because we did see that Gohan's SSJ2 energy was only half of the required energy for Majin Buu. So he should be twice as strong as Gohan in that state. So we do see that Gohan does try to fight him, and Buu just blasts him into oblivion. And he's gonna die until Supreme Kai saves him. He pops the blast, and Gohan lands safely in a forest. And he tells Gohan to just stay down. And he collapses. So Babidi is like, well, Majin Buu, why don't you kill Supreme Kai? And Majin Buu says, oh, well, I'll eat him. And I'm like, what? You'll eat him? That's disgusting. You'll just eat him? And Babidi is like, okay, whatever. And as soon as he says that, a spear goes through Majin Buu, and Babidi's like, oh! And he sees that Dabura has thrown the spear. And Dabura is trying to convince Babidi to seal up Majin Buu, because if he doesn't, Majin Buu won't wreak havoc on just Earth, the universe, and he'll kill Babidi as well. And Babidi, blinded to this fact, he's saying, Dabura, I don't care about you. He's mine. He's my life ambition. I worked my whole entire life from him. I don't care about you. And Dabura's like, what? And Babidi, it's seen in this episode that Babidi is blinded to the truth. He has achieved this miraculous feat, and he thinks he's on top of the world. But he's not invincible, and everybody knows this, especially Dabura. So we do get to see that Majin Buu is able to pull the spear out of his chest and able to regenerate. And he regenerates his flesh, but I find it also very funny that he's able to regenerate his cape. I don't know. I've never known this. How is he able to regenerate his cape along with his flesh? Because that seems rather weird, because the cape shouldn't be a part of his body, but that's another story. So we see that Dabura is about to fight Majin Buu, and Majin Buu says that I'm going to eat you now. And I'm like, dude, this guy is just disgusting. He's going to eat his opponents? That's crazy. But as soon as we're getting into the fight, we do see that Goten and Trunks have made it to the battlefield, and they find the petrified Piccolo and Krillin. Now, Trunks, out of curiosity, says, oh, let me see this expensive statue of Piccolo. Let me touch it. And he touches it, and it breaks. And I'm like, he just killed Piccolo. I was so scared that he killed Piccolo, and Piccolo went out like that. But we see later that after Buu fights Dabura, and Dabura tries his best, but it's just to no avail. He's not able to damage Majin Buu whatsoever. And we see that Dabura is turned into a cookie by Majin Buu. Majin Buu turns him into a cookie with this mysterious magical beam. And it's very effective. He's able to eat him as a cookie, and the beam is able to turn, I guess the beam's able to turn people into cookies? I don't know, that's just what it seems to be able to do. He's able to turn people into cookies and eat them. So that seems cool. And we see that after Deborah does die, it is in fact true that Supreme Kai was right, that the spit spell does dissolve after Deborah dies. And Krillin comes back, and Piccolo comes back too, but he's broken into pieces, and Trunks is like horrified at what he's done. But Piccolo was able to regenerate because he had his head intact. So we see that Piccolo is analyzing the situation, Supreme Kai is down, and Majin Buu is already secured victory. And Babidi and Majin Buu are going to ride their way into their world domination plan. And we see that the ship blows up. And everybody's shocked that the ship blows up. And we already know who it is. It's not really that big of a spoiler. It's Vegeta. Vegeta is there to fight Majin Buu. Now, and that's basically where the episode ends. And now, let me talk about this week's episode in terms of the pacing. The pacing of Dragon Ball Kai has become extremely horrid. And the reason why I state this is because I think these fights can be better handled. I mean, these fights should be like one punch, one kick. Like, that's how they happen in the manga. And I think that Majin Buu fighting Deborah was completely unnecessary. It took up, 10 minutes of the entire episode? So why in the world didn't they just turn him into candy? We get a little bit of Vegeta at the end, where Babidi's like, who blew up my ship? And Vegeta's like, me. And I wanted to see that. I thought that we would end off with Vegeta in this week's episode, not begin with it in next week's episode. I think that that would have been a better conclusion. And I think that Toei Animation, it's becoming more and more obvious that this is a quick cash grab, that they're extending this as much as they can in order to gain more money and not really show a proper representation of what a Dragon Ball anime should be. It should be fast-paced. It should be at a breakneck pace, actually, because that's how it's presented in the manga. And I think that it's just not being done justice here, and I think that that brings the episode down a little bit. And the inconsistent animation in this episode was kind of jarring, because at first the animation was great, but then the second half, bro, what happened? Like, the animation was awful. I mean, it was just god awful. So that was pretty much this week's episode in a nutshell. It was an average episode, nothing special really, but this has been your resident Dr. Senbei Norimaki, otherwise known as Dr. Slump, and I'll catch you guys again for another Dragon Ball Kai video review. Peace, have a great day.